and even in a situation where you can move in between your flurry of blows, you need whoever is affected by these conditions to be within running range of you, and for you to be willing to leave the target you're engaged with, and you need to be, willing to take an attack opportunity from them. Like, there's so many things there where I'm
yes.
like,
But if it's the wizard and he's paralyzed, then yeah, you're a monk. Go get him sorted out.
go get the real character back
Yeah.
in the fight.
Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns and Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today is another Martial Monday. Today, we will be going over the monk subclass, Way of Mercy.
Yeah, this is for the monks that, like, aren't just studying the blade, but are also studying, like, how to be useful and helpful and, care for those less fortunate and stuff, right? This is the monk option for the people out there that want to, seek religions that help people, make the world a better place. That's the whole shtick, right? Is you're a holy person that heals as well as does kung fu. Kung fu is interwoven in every part of the monk class, unfortunately, or fortunately, depends on who you are. In any case,
Well, it's not just kung fu. This is like they're healing. I guess not magic, but innate power can also harm.
that's true. This is like a mastery of life and death kind of thing in a way that Long
Yeah.
Death desperately wishes it was. But to be fair, any improvement over Long Death is, worth mentioning. And this is, I would say, an improvement over Long Death, but not by like a huge stretch. I forgot just how awful this option was until I read it right before doing this, and I was like, oh crap. Maybe there just aren't good mug sunglasses.
Oh,
It's better than some of what we talked about, but it's still got a lot of problems.
all right. Well, let's get into it.
Okay, so it starts with the implements of mercy. So when you choose this tradition at 3rd level, you gain proficiency in insight and medicine. Okay. You gain the proficiency with the herbalism kit. Sure. You don't get replacements if you already have those, so don't have those when you take this. But, 2 skills is better than the 1 skill that sometimes you get. And herbalism kit lets you make potions of healing. That's not nothing. And anti-venom. Okay, cool. You can do some stuff with that. You also gain a special mask, which you can often wear while using the features of the subclass. You determine its appearance or generate it randomly by rolling in the Merciful Monk table. It can look like a raven, black and white, a crying visage, a laughing visage, a skull, or a butterfly. Now, I don't even know how to begin digesting just how many different aspects of, like, tropes are being jammed into this thing, and I don't really get most of them. But sure.
If I'm injured on a battlefield and this guy wearing a raven mask comes down to touch me, that's terrifying.
That's more like, that is the Reaper. I have been journeyed to by death itself to come take me. That's what I would feel like, at least. I hate the words which you often wear when using the features of this subclass, and I hate those words because that's not important. Like, you don't need to wear this mask for any of this to function, but for the longest time when I was reading through this, I was like, where does the mask come in? When do I need... Does the mask just not do anything? And then I came to the conclusion after reading it all thoroughly and coming back to this feature, the mask just does nothing. So it's a flavor feature that makes me wonder if it's mechanical, but it's not mechanical, which is not a good flavor feature. Still, it's cool. It's cute. If you want to do the Plague Doctor thing, this, I guess, works for that. But Plague Doctors are like medicinal and artificery and wizardy and not this. So there's a lot of, like, pulling that I'm like, I guess you can kind of make this work to be a bunch of different archetypes, but it feels very vague to me. Like, I can't think of a lot of monks that, I would have envisioned in this archetype being this masked raven figure, grim and dark, siphoning the life of people that's also doing, like, catching missiles like Jackie Chan. Like, it doesn't really... I don't know. There's some weird tension here, Bob, and it makes me confused.
Well, I don't know what the rest of this guy is supposed to look like, because I'm picturing a monk in my mind, and he's just not wearing these goofy Mardi Gras masks. And if he is, then the rest of them doesn't look like the monk I had in my head.
Right. This is a really big departure, and it's not necessarily a bad thing that this is a big departure from the core of the monk's identity. I think these kinds of options open up some opportunity for players to really reflavor and reskin a lot of what an option is doing, right? I could see you taking this option as just like the bone saw of the group, where you just happen to be an anime protagonist bone saw, right? Who's able to like bounce off the walls and stuff and run around and kicks things in, but is wearing a nice suit the whole time doing it with their play Dr. Mask or whatever. I could absolutely see that archetype being something people would take and make with this. It just doesn't at all feel monk to me. Again, that's not the end of the world. Moving forward into like the actual features, like the real things you get beyond 2 proficiencies and skills, which is something. That's not nothing. It's not great, but it's something. You start with Hands of Healing. So at 3rd level, when your mystical touch can mend wounds. As an action, you can spend a key point to touch a creature and restore a number of hit points equal to a roll of your martial arts die plus your wisdom modifier. It also says, whenever you use your flurry of blows, you can place one of the unarmed strikes with a use of this feature without expending a key point for the healing. Which is something kind of interesting and nifty. I don't know.
Whoa. Before you explain this, I'd like you to know that I need it explained, because I said this confuses me before we started recording, and this is the first part here.
Okay.
You're using your flurry of blows, which means you are beating the shit out of somebody. And one of those hits, you can heal them with it?
So whenever you use your flurry of blows, that functionally simply says, if you've taken the attack action on your turn, as a bonus action at a key point, you can make 2 unarmed strikes. It doesn't care against you. It doesn't care what they're for. But now you can place one of those 2 unarmed strikes with the use of your Hands of Healing. So you can punch somebody in the groin and then put your foot on some other person and heal them, right? Like that's what's kind of going on here. The idea is it feels very combat medic to me, right? Is the fight's going pretty south. You've got a paladin that's unconscious. You run in with your big flurry of blows because you still want to make sure you're doing damage, and you just give up 1 attack to get the paladin back up into the fight and helping you kill things. That's like the premise that it's kind of walking with. Now, in practice, does it do that effectively? No.
Well,
no.
All right,
really.
well, why not? I mean, hit, take a guy up off 0.
So we've seen these kinds of things a lot where this feature doesn't do anything unless my buddy is, or I'm dead, or my buddy's at 0, or X, Y, or Z caveat is being used. This isn't a feature that you can proactively use, really, in any meaningful way. Healing, generally speaking, isn't a feature you can proactively use.
All right,
the reason I like Healing Word so much
on. All right, yeah, okay.
On someone being at 0. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of people who waste damage healing people that will never drop in a fight with this feature, right? Like if you're neck and neck with your paladin, they got 25 HP left out of their 50. Should you be using a Healing Hands instead of a flurry of blows? Probably not. You probably should be hitting the thing again to drop their hit points faster to end the encounter faster, so your paladin takes a net less damage. Removing, a D8 extra hit points onto the thing to your right isn't going to be that effective versus dropping the thing outright, which makes this only really usable in the situation where someone's at 0. Now, I think go for it.
What if blow kills and your buddy's right next to you, you don't have another target nearby?
Sure. It removes overkill need. That's cute, I guess. It gives you a little bit of something extra in the case that you already have won. I don't really want my features to be a little bit of something extra in the case that I've already won, or only usable whenever we're losing so badly that or the fight's so close that this is going to be worth it. I do think there is something to say that this gives monks a Cure Wounds option, and it's not the cheapest in the world, but it is something you won't be upset to use every once in a while. I do think just having I spend a key point to get someone up is fine. I really wish they just let it be a bonus action. Like if it was its own bonus action, so you could bonus action, get somebody up, then move in and attack, that play pattern's a lot more, I can stomach that a lot easier. Like, run over, get somebody off 0, go attack. You could have the play pattern where you attack, flurry of blows, attack, then move, then heal, then take attacks of opportunity, and there's a little bit more, again, tension there. It doesn't work exactly as I'd like it to for what the flexibility is doing. Still, having any way to get a character off 0 on your sheet is a boon. Once you get 1, you need any others, not at all. You don't need Healing Word anymore, you don't need Cure Wounds anymore, you have a way to get someone off 0. And that is not nothing, it's just not powerful. There is another feature table here, though. It's called Hands of Harm. At 3rd level, you can use your key to inflict wounds. Whenever you hit a creature with an unarmed strike, you can spend a key point to deal extra necrotic damage equal to 1 roll of your martial arts die plus your wisdom modifier. Only once a turn. Womp womp.
All right, what is your martial arts die?
D6 right now. Maybe it's a D4 right now. It might be a D4 right now. Hold on. I think it's a D4 right now. I think it comes to D6 at 5th level. I'm pulling up Monk as we speak. Oh, yeah, it's a D4 right now. Big womp womp.
All right, so we're doing an average of 2.5, 3?
Yeah.
For a key point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That key point should be
Well,
spent on Flurry of Blowsing, right? Like it
at
just should
least you
be.
got the Hands of Healing. This is an
Sure.
extra option.
Yeah, I think Hands of Healing is almost all the text here, and it's the Flurry of Blows text isn't even that relevant, but at least it'll come up from time to time where you're like, okay, you won the fight and a little bit of overhealing. Sure, I'll heal myself, right? That's not the end of the world, and you're getting 2 skills on top of that little healing option. This isn't unusable. We've talked about unusable Monk options before. This is just pretty poor. So, hey, good for Monk. They got a pretty poor option so far to start with. And the Hands of Harm that I would advocate for actually never using. Unless you're level like 15 and have so many key points that you're never going to burn through that you're just using it every round. Because that's the dichotomy of healing, Hands of Harm, right? Is you either are never using it or you have so many spare key points that you're using it all the time. And there's not going to be a lot of like, it's going to be 1 mana per long rest. Great. Every round I Hands of Harm and I use my Flurry of Blows every single round. And I'm just spending 6 key points a turn. And over the 3 rounds, I lose all 2 of my key points. We did it. That's just not a good reason to have a 3rd level feature be nothing.
All
6th
right.
level. 6th level gives us Physician's Touch. So we're going to see a pattern with the subclass where both of the starting options should just scale on their own and have actual 6th, 11th, and 15th or 17th level features that like expand what you can do, but unfortunately that's not the case. So Physician's Touch at 6th level, you can administer even greater cures with your touch, and if you feel it's necessary and you use your knowledge to cause harm. When you use Hands of Healing to one creature, you can also end 1 disease of the following conditions affecting the creature. You can end blinded, deafened, poisoned, paralyzed, or stunned. So in addition to healing them, you can remove 1 of those conditions. You can do that as part of your Flurry of Blows. Okay, that I actually can see coming up a decent bit, right? Like it's like, okay, I got a Flurry of Blows. My buddy got blinded. I'll remove the blind using my healing thing, as well as like it's now another decent reason to use it in combat, but it's still really conditional. You still have to be next to the buddy that's having those things happen to them. You have to like, if you're the one blinded, you have to make 2 attacks disadvantage, then cure your blindness on yourself with the. It's a little bit wonky, but it's fine.
But can
and
you not use it before your blows?
It takes a full ass action if you want to do it before your blows. So no.
All right.
You really want to do it as part of your Flurry of Blows. That's like the most efficient way to remove the conditions.
I know, but I'm saying as part of your Flurry of Blows, it has to be the last part.
So in order to Flurry of Blows at all, let me just double check this. I believe you have to have made an attack action on your turn. So if we look at a Flurry of Blows, immediately after you take the attack action on your turn, you can spend a key point to make 2 unarmed strikes as a bonus action. That means you've already had to attack, and you're already using extra attacks. You're making 2 attacks already that are going to be whatever conditions you're currently faced with. If you're paralyzed, sorry, champ, you can't use this to heal yourself, but you can end other people's paralysis, which is that's not nothing. That is something. This also has whenever you use Hands of Harm on a creature, you can subject them to the poison condition until the end of your next turn. And that's just like a no save kind of deal. So now Hands of Harm has gone from being bad damage for a key point to a guarantee poison and some damage for a key point. It's for a round. It's not Stunning Strike good, but it's guaranteed.
Just to say, I'm looking at this. The Physician's Touch.
It does 2 things. It improves your hands healing.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Go ahead.
The 2 things that it does.
So I was going to say, all right, it doesn't appear to use any key points, but it is building on your Hands of Healing. So you're using your Hands of Healing for this. All right, still.
Your key points are already baked into the cost.
All right, well, 1 key point. That, I mean, this is like, we were talking about lesser restoration, getting rid of a lot of these effects. And we said, rather than waste your turn in a resource like that, it's better to just wait it out. In this case, I can see like this is just something you get. So it's not like you have to take this spell or something. You get this. You're using a key point. You're getting some healing in there, whatever. Anyway, this feels useful. Potentially.
I think Lesser Restoration is a really great comparison to this. So spending a 2nd level spell slot is a very big resource for 6th level characters, even. Not that big for 6th level characters, but still like fairly large. And you have to spend your whole action doing it. This is like a quarter of your action, like a quarter of your bonus. It's like half your bonus action is a better way to think of it, right? Because you're using your bonus action to make it 2 attack rolls, and then you forgo half of those attack rolls, 1 of them, for this restorative thing. And
Yeah.
that is genuinely kind of solid. Now, how often is it going to come up? However often Lesser Resto comes up. These are relatively common conditions, and there's 5 of them, right? This can remove stunned, which is sometimes useful. If it ever removes paralysis, it's life-saving. But, and this is a really, really big but, you have to be next to the target that you also want to be flurries of blows, and they need the target that's paralyzed or blinded or whatever needs to be next to them for that efficiency to kind of happen. Right? Like, if your wizard gets hold personed, and they're all the way across the room 60 feet away from you, as a monk, do you have the speed to get there at a base 30 right now? Let me see. So this is a 9th level feature, right?
Why are they automatically 60 feet away?
I'm just, as an example, right?
Okay.
I'm saying as an example, if this, when the conditions come up, let's say somebody is held person across the room from you, right? If they are out of your run distance, which is currently getting a plus 15, so if they were within 45 feet of you, you could do your attack action against the thing you're fighting, flurry of blows for 1 attack against it, and then take the attack of opportunity to run over and end the condition. That is a thing you could conceivably do, I think. Now, I could be wrong, and it may be that you are forced to you're not allowed to move in between the bonus action attacks on flurry of blows. I cannot see why not. But, like, if you can't move in between your flurry of blows, this is going to be incredibly narrow. And even in a situation where you can move in between your flurry of blows, you need whoever is affected by these conditions to be within running range of you, and for you to be willing to leave the target you're engaged with, and you need to be, willing to take an attack opportunity from them. Like, there's so many things there where I'm like...
But if it's the wizard and he's paralyzed, then yeah, you're a monk. Go get him sorted out.
Go get the real character back in the fight. Again, there's at least a conversation to be had around this feature, right? Like, it is some amount of utility that is kind of interesting. It is doing the supportive healing monk, I think, justice in some ways. This is definitely an interesting option. What do you think about the Hands of Harm upgrade, though? The poison condition applied to the Hands of Harm. Is that still too bad to use?
What does the poison condition do?
Disadvantage on attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws, I think.
Yeah. That's
it can set up your stunning strike if that's the case. Let me check.
It can set up a lot of things for your allies as well.
Not saving throws, attack rolls and ability checks. So it doesn't set up stunning strike.
Still, attack rolls, that's
it's gonna be worse at hitting. Now, like,
if something's got multiple attacks, that gets even better.
Here's a question for you. So monks have an option called Stunning Strike. So at 5th level, you can interfere with the flow of ki in an opponent's body. When you hit something with a melee attack, you can spend a ki point to have a Stunning Strike. It makes a con save or is stunned until the end of your next turn. Would you do a damage and poison over an attempt at stunning?
Probably not.
Yeah, the stun condition is incapacitated, auto fail strength dex, and attacks at them have advantage.
And what's the cost?
1 ki point.
One key? All right, yeah.
So it's guaranteed damage and poison or not guaranteed stun. There is a question there, though, right?
Well, I'd probably go back and forth with it.
Yeah. I don't know.
If I was playing this subclass, and I probably won't be.
I'm inclined to agree. Another really big note here is, like, there aren't new things to do. There's just, like, the new thing you get is Lesser Restoration adjacent. I don't love that. And this is no out-of-combat utility. This is no preemptive buffs. This is entirely reactive or an on-hit that's, like, comparable to Stunning Strike, but usually going to be a lot worse. Like, the stunning condition is just so... It skips their turn. That's debilitating against so many things if it ever happens. You can fire it off multiple times. Maybe it's the kind of thing where, like, if your first Stunning Strike fails, you go, well, I need something bad to happen to them, so the second hit, I'll use the Hands of Harming. Maybe. Still not having any new way to explore the world's pretty rough. Yeah. Right? Like, it's not the worst that we've talked about. That's good.
No, I mean, we have talked about it. It hasn't just been all dunking on it, so.
Yeah. This isn't you can pay 2 ki points to remove disadvantage from one of your attack rolls. There's Flurry of Healing and Harm next. So 11th level, you can now out...
You can meet out.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to skip all that flavor because I don't know how to pronounce that word. Meat does seem like it's the word, but I don't know what that word means. Commenters below, let me know what METE means. I could use thesaurus.com, but I'm going to ask commenters instead for engagement. When you use your flurry of blows, you can replace each of the unarmed strikes with the use of your healing hand without spending key points. Weird, but okay. In addition, when you make an unarmed strike with a flurry of blows, you can use the Hand of Harm with that strike without spending the key points for the Hands of Harm. You can still use Hands of Harm only once per turn. So now every time you flurry of blows, you get the free Hands of Harm, and now it's like a really, really solid little, oh, I auto-poison something I hit every turn. Yeah, okay, sure. Nothing new here, though, right?
No, not at all. They're really riding this, the Hands of Healing or whatever they're called, like all the way down.
Yeah, and like a lot of this could have been baked into just the option at the Healing Hands and Hands of Harm, right? Like, Hands of Harm is short. If you told me that it just had at 11th level, you also auto-apply at no key point cost, I'd be like, that sounds like a reasonable passive upgrade for this to eventually get. It could probably have been this out the gate, and I would be like, oh, cool. You do a little bit extra damage with Flurry of Blows once per turn. And then you get a real 11th level feature. But instead, it's an upgrade on a thing you've been doing for a while and nothing new to do. And like, this is the tier where 6th level spells are coming online, and you're like, but I get my D8 damage for free.
Yeah.
I'm close to saying this is a non-feature.
Do you get the you don't get the Physician's Touch along with this though, huh?
Not for free.
No.
Oh, so you would, when I say not for free, you're still spending a tax on it.
Yeah.
But like, you do get Physician's Touch with it if you were to use like multiple remove stun.
Right.
But you're only making 2 flurry of blow attacks, so like there's this idea that, oh, I'm healing so many. No, you're healing twice instead of once, and I'm still not sure if I'm gonna be healing that much with it. Like, really?
No. Yeah. This is nothing. This is essentially nothing.
Yeah, that's what I honestly think this feature ends up being. Is a like the second line of text for the Hands of Harm boon. I think that's just where Hands of Harm should have started. And then there isn't a level 11 feature for healing. Healing gets like functionally no improvement here that's worth mentioning, because the situations where you're using Hands of Healing already, I think, is very low. The situation where when you use it twice doesn't exist. Like, it's so infrequently that you're gonna want to like spend a key point to do it twice. That seems ridiculous to me.
Wizards of the Coast, you need to mete out some better features.
Yeah, especially in the upper tiers. God, they're allergic to giving good upper tier features to martial characters. Like, compare this to an average 6th level spell, and you're like, what am I what is this crap? Ending with Hand of Ultimate Mercy. So by 17th level, your Mastery of Life Energy opens the door to the ultimate mercy.
Are they gonna put a bullet in their own head?
That's such a good sentence. God, I love this game. As an action, you can touch the corpse of a creature that died within the past 24 hours and expend 5 key points. The creature returns to life, regaining number of hit points equal to 4 to 10 plus your wisdom modifier. Creature die when subject to the following conditions. It revives with them removed: blinded, deaf, and paralyzed, poisoned, stunned. Woohoo! Once you use this feature, you can't get until you finish a long rest for some reason. Huzzah! You got a 5th level spell. It's Raised Dead.
Yeah,
this isn't a feature.
I mean, it doesn't cost anything.
Costs 5 key points.
Yeah, but I meant gold costs or
You're level 17, Bob. You're sitting on Scrooge McDuck money right now.
17, yeah.
True Resurrections online. Wizards are making you rain meteors from the sky, but you're like, don't worry. The cleric's been doing this since 5th level, but I just figured it out. Yeah, what an absolute tragic way to end a kind of cool option.
Yeah, but the thing is, it just kind of cool, and by monk standards. If this was like a better class, I don't know that we'd get as excited as we were about Implements of Mercy and Hands of Healing.
Yeah, I want to make it very clear. Hands of Healing is not ubiquitously good. Physician's Touch isn't universally good. These are both niche little features, and that's the bulk of the content here. You're absolutely right. This is not good. Like, the level 11 and 17 feature are non-features, and that's a huge problem. So I guess the 11th level feature isn't technically a non-feature. It just takes a non-feature and makes it a feature that it should have been at 3rd level. So it feels like a non-feature, even though it's just making a non-feature into kind of a feature, but not even a good feature. Just like a okay feature. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm going D+ on this one.
I think I'm staying right in the little smack dab middle D. I might be overrating it, honestly, but like,
Yeah.
I think the world in which I would consider this a D is a world in which you're playing like an 11 level campaign where you're not you're not getting Flurry of Healing and Harm, right? Where you're not expecting to play the character from more than levels 3 to 8 or whatever, right? If you ever have to take this the long way, you're just going to be like, all I have is my 3rd level feature. And that's not good enough. So, yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
monks.
I mean, D plus might be generous because I'm thinking like, all right, well, at least for multi-classing, but no, this isn't what I want my first 3 levels of a multi-class build to be.
Yeah, monks also really struggle to multi-class because key points they're
Oh,
starved for
yeah.
them. And they're tied to monk level. So you have to keep playing monk if you want more uses of your features.
Yeah.
It's rough out there. I do think Physician's Touch is an interesting little feature. And I think Hands of Healing is something. I think you can probably play at casual tables this and have your monk feel like they can do new things. It just isn't going to be anywhere close to powerful. God, it's hard to not fail this thing. Just not having an 11 and 17th level feature is debilitating, and Physician's Touch is so niche.
Oh.
I'm doing it. I'm giving it an F. I take it back. This is still unusable trash. I'm sorry, monks. This is just not where you can be. I can't envision myself wanting to play this character. I can't envision myself going,
No.
okay, my 3rd level feature is a thing I will only use my characters at 0. Like, I'll just pick up Arcane or Magic Initiate for Healing Word if that's how desperate I am to get someone off 0. I'll have a real subclass that gives me real features. And that's not
Yeah.
this.
You're probably right, but man, we've had some worse monks.
This is an F plus.
Yeah, there you go.
This is better than Way of Long Death, probably.
I'm starting to
do new
understand
things.
the drunken master. Oh, woe is the monk. All right, well, that was way of mercy. Mercifully, we're finished. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Let us know what you think of Way of Mercy down in the comments below, or other monks, or our opinions, and give us your opinions, and like and subscribe. We'll see you next time. Bye.